Usana, Usana.
All right, we're good whenever you are.
Usana in the highest. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below to make sure. Make sure. Hey, it's #1 best-selling author and keynote speaker Erik Qualman. A lot of you know me as Equalman. Thank you for joining us for today's 7 Super Tips, the show designed to unlock and unleash your inner superpower. Today we are going to get 7 super tips from the late and great Anthony Bourdain. That's right, he ate right here on the streets of Austin, Texas. And today he's going to give us 7 super tips.
But I mean, if you're talking about failure, I accepted failure as a chef because I was at various times a bad chef and even a bad person. These days, if I fail, it's because I tried to do something and did not succeed, or I just was not able to do what I hoped to do or wanted to do. Or maybe I tried to do something that just clearly in retrospect didn't work, but I would much rather that. I would much rather fail gloriously than not venture, not try. You know, I moved from 44-year-old fry cook basically to whatever the hell it is I do now, pretty much overnight on the basis of a memoir where I pretty much fessed up to everything. So there's really, I'm an open book. I've never had a reputation to lose, which is a huge advantage. I mean, it's an enormously liberating thing when everybody knows all the nasty shit about you already. Nobody can hurt you. You're free to say what you want and have an opinion. It's like, oh yeah, well, you used to be a junkie. Yeah, what else? I've done many bad things in my life, many awful things that I'm not proud of. But I'm not pretending to be. I think it's a matter of age as well. I joke about not giving a fuck being a very good business model for me, but it's true. The absolute certainty that no one was ever going to care about or buy or read Kitchen Confidential was what allowed me to write it. I didn't have to think about what people expected. I didn't care. And as a result, I was able to write this book quickly and without tormenting myself. And that seemed to work out. And I learned from that experience. And I tried very hard to, whether meeting with a group of television executives or telling a story, I don't think about the fans. I don't think about what audiences expect, and I'm not afraid of what will they think of me, or what if they don't like it and I'm not on television anymore. And I found that works. I mean, if you don't value your own life, that's taking it to an extreme. People tend to respect or be afraid of that person. The person in a bar fight who clearly has no concern for their own personal health or welfare is a dangerous person. And particularly in television, the television industry, the entertainment industry in general, the thing that the great unifying factor of television is that everyone who is on television is desperate to stay on television no matter what. Anyone who's ever been on Top Chef, it's like, what happens when it's over, So when you're the rare person who walks into a room with some television executive and really don't care. We did last week. We want to present a moving target. We don't want ever for the network to be able to say, I think I figured out what the hell it is that you guys are doing. Let's do more of that. Because by the time they figure that out, we will have moved on to something else. So we spent a lot of time sitting around, having a few cocktails, thinking, what is the most fucked up thing we can do? And I don't know which one of you guys said, let's do a food show all in black and white.
Yeah.
That's how good we are. We can make food porn in black and white. And when we started talking about early neo-realist Italian films that 1% of our audience might have seen, and we went out and did just about the stupidest thing you could do on travel and food. We made it all black and white show, lit. We never light, but we lit.
Yeah, they said no way. They said that was
impossible. It is for me. It's my proudest. my proudest moment because it was just so stupid. And it looks so beautiful, and the work you guys did, and the editing, and the music, everything worked exactly better than we could have imagined. It all came together. That said, the first Tuscany show that everybody hates, that was a fun show to make.
It was a fun show.
Yeah. Okay. What about worst? When I wrote Kitchen Confidential, that no one was going to read it, and that was both that was a very liberating thing, because I'd never had to think. I didn't have the burden of trying to imagine what people would expect, or what they might like or dislike, or what the market wanted. I wasn't thinking about any of those things. I had because of this little article, I had an opportunity to tell a story, and I wanted it to be entertaining and legit for people in my industry in the New York area. But this was as far as I thought it was going to go, and even after TV people started offering me shows, I very much thought I better keep my day job. This can't possibly work out. I mean, TV, who gets to have fun on TV?
Yeah.
You know, who gets to make a living writing? I mean,
Traveling the world.
I've been in the restaurant business a long time. The restaurant business is, of course, filled with people who think that someday they're going to make a living writing or acting or in entertainment somehow. And I knew this was delusional behavior, you know, from 30 years of seeing it up close. So look, it was everything changed. I really think the only thing you can credit me for is that I didn't fuck it all up.
Yeah.
You know, once I got my break, I was 44 at the time, which is probably good, because I would have really made a mess of it if it had happened to me earlier. You know, I recognized that it was late in life.
Yeah.
I caught a big break here. Let's not, you know, make the usual mistakes.
Yeah.
Uninhibited creative freedom is something that I've been incredibly fortunate to have for the better part of my entire television career. Unlike anyone else I know of in television, I've been free to do whatever I want, to make the shows I want, anywhere I want, with whom I want, in any style I want. So at first I don't know any other way, and by now I won't have it any other way. Life is good. Why settle for less? And by the same token, when you're given that much freedom and you have essentially no interference and nothing but support behind you, what you don't want to do is get lazy and bored and sloppy. To me, I'd much rather not make TV at all, or make even unsuccessful TV, than make competent television. You know, it's very easy to make a conventional travel or food show at this point. It's like shooting porn. It's the same shot sequence and the same sort of limited terminology. You know how all of the little pieces work, where you have to start and where you have to end. I detest competent, workmanlike storytelling, and I'm always very, you know, the times that we do that, I'm very unhappy with that. I'd rather fail. I like making things. I'm a guy who should have a project. I mean, when I was a chef, I was clearly somebody who liked multitasking. But I think I like making things, whether it's a TV show, a story, a plate of food. I don't really even need to have it afterwards. The process, I think being a chef, cooking, conditions you to the tiny technical satisfactions of properly executing a single plate. Having a kind of a private moment when that plate sits there momentarily in the window before it goes out into the dining room to be ruined, where you look at it and you know you did this particular thing well. It's a very private moment. I think that's been useful in learning to like something so temporary, so fleeting. I think that's been useful in in being happy in television and writing. I like the process of the editing process, the pre-production process, the nuts and bolts, the technical satisfaction of putting these pieces and elements together in conjunction with other people and having one tiny golden moment where you say, hey, that's pretty good.
Be open to experience, be willing to try new things, don't have a rigid plan, accept random acts of hospitality without judgment or fear. Don't be afraid to wander, don't be afraid to eat a bad meal. You know, if you don't risk the bad meal, you'll never get the magical one. But I think most important, be humble, be grateful. Be aware of the fact that you are probably the stupidest person in the room. As far as you are the least prepared, least equipped person to know who's really in charge and what's really going on.
Thank you for joining us for today's 7 Super Tips with the late and great Anthony Bourdain. My hope is that his tips help unlock and unleash that superpower that's within all of us. And to ensure you get the next episode, hit that subscribe button below. And until next time, remember, it's not what we take from the world, it's what we leave behind. Hey, it's number one best-selling author. Isn't it romantic? Hey, it's number one best-selling author and keynote speaker, Erik Qualman. Oh, let me do that again.